Welcome to AskPsychSessions, where we ask some of the best teachers in psychology questions from you, our audience. If you would like to send in a question or an idea for a conversation, please visit bit.ly/AskPsychSessions. That's bit.ly/AskPsychSessions, all lowercase, no spaces. And here's our next question. I am here with Fabio Torres from Glendale Community College. Is that right, Glendale Community College?
Glendale Community College.
Okay, and Fabiola teaches ethnic studies there, but the reason why she is on this special edition of Ask Psych Sessions is because of her expertise in online teaching and learning. And so, Fabiola, how long have you been teaching online for?
I've been teaching online for now since 2008.
Since 2008, and you've really... I mean, we were talking about this off air. You're an enthusiast for this modality.
Yes. So when I started teaching in 2008, I realized, I wasn't good at it. So true to my nature, I went back to school and I actually got a second degree in learning technology and learning theory. And so the program through Pepperdine just leveraged my understanding of metacognition and technology. And so it really contemplated the online learning environment that I was building.
Well, I'm looking forward to chatting with you for a minute for a few minutes, because first of all, when I reached out to folks to see if they, through Twitter, I found you on Twitter, I reached out to you through email, but to see if they'd be willing to help with us, I can't believe everybody who just responded immediately yes. And I think what your email said was, yeah, for faculty, it's all hands on deck. Yep. And so I appreciate you taking this time, and I know that our listeners will really appreciate it too, because I already know what we're going to talk about. You have put together, at least you sent it to me, an emergency checklist for this transition that people are being asked to make from moving their face-to-face classes online. And I am particularly sensitive to teachers who have never taught online before. And so would you mind just telling me a little bit about your emergency checklist or your emergency preparedness kit?
Well, I just want to preface this by saying that, there's this word in Spanish called rascuachi. Rascuachi means kind of like, it has a derogatory connotation to it, like it's like what poor people are, but yet I put a positive spin on it, because when you're poor, you come up with solutions any way you can. And I was raised in that environment. So when our TV broke down, we didn't buy another TV. My father would get a coat hanger or aluminum foil to just fix it. Like, we just fixed things. So with that in mind, we have to come forward in this situation with that rascuachi mindset, where it's like, we just got to fix it. We can't be afraid to jump in this environment and feel like we have to be perfect. So it's important that we know that we're not going to be perfect, but we're going to be there for our students, and the students will pick up on that. So the first thing I have here is that we need to take an inventory of our own skills. What can we do and what not can we do with technology? What are we comfortable with? What do we find challenging? How do we envision solutions to our own personal learning environment? So that's the first step. Just let's take inventory.
Let me stop you for a second, because I really like what you said. If teachers, even really great teachers in the face-to-face classroom, are coming into an online course, they got to let themselves off the hook to be perfect. They have to just do whatever it takes. So that's your introductory remarks are about doing whatever it takes. And then it seems like your first step is really finding out what you do well. So what strengths can you bring into this new environment. And I just want to stop and just say I appreciate those, because I think we do need to be optimistic and roll up our sleeves and cut ourselves a little bit of slack.
Yeah. And our students know that. You know,
Right.
I think, our students have been seeing us for the past, I don't know how many weeks we've been on. I mean, for us, we've been on for 4 weeks. Other campuses already on week 8. So they've been observing us. They know what we're bringing to the table. And I think it's also important for us to be transparent with our students and be able to tell them, look, I'm not comfortable with technology, but I'm going to do the best that I can. And I'm going to need your help to let me know what's working and not working. We're doing this together. Again, we
Yeah.
have to see like what, take inventory of our skills. And one skill set we all have is we love to teach. So
Yeah.
this is why when I responded to you, all hands on deck, is because all of us, we love what we do. And so I feel that our academic environment expects us to be perfect, and many of us are. We love to be in front of the classroom and be the sage on the stage, and that's awesome. We're content specialists, but at the same time, we're being forced to be in an environment where many of us are not comfortable with. So that's why that first step of take inventory of our own skills is so important.
Perfect. Well, let's keep going, because I love these steps. What's step 2?
Step 2 is that we need to do a needs assessment. So this is where we have to partner with our institution, our institutional resources, and our own communities of practice. What do we need to address our inventory of skills? Okay. Who can help? What resources are available? One of the things I've been offering on my own personal Facebook, just my own tribe, um, a lot of my friends are, teaching in the 4-year institution. And I feel like the 4-year institution here in California, at least I'm not seeing it. There's not a cohesive community of practice like the California Community College system. Through the California Community College system, we have a professional learning network called @ONE, online network of online network of educators. And our personal learning network provides that support. But people from Cal State LA, USC, even my friend from Colorado State, they're reaching out to me and saying, help, how do I do this? So if we can't get the help from our institution, then we need to get help from our community of practice. Twitter if you're not on Twitter, get on Twitter. There are people out there asking for help and offering help. One of the problems I'm seeing right now in Twitter is that a lot of us are communicating to each other and we're all high-fiving one another. And yet a lot of our faculty who are not online, like they're not being part of this. And so I'm trying to encourage all of us to enable our faculty to go online, to say, I teach anthropology. I'm supposed to go to the zoo with my students in 2 weeks. What do I do? And people are out there, just like you did. You reached out and you said people responded. So if
Yeah.
you're listening to this, Twitter is a great spot. There's a hashtag CCC Learn, which is California Community College Learn. There is hashtag Keep Learning. That is very helpful. The Keep Learning one is just showing demos. Like someone wants to learn how to do a demo on something, sure, someone has posted, or they can use Keep Learning and say help. But yeah, reaching out to your own communities of practice is so important. So that's the need
And
assessment.
and what's your handle on Twitter, Fabiola?
My handle on Twitter is @ILearnNow.
Perfect. Okay, step 3.
So step 3 is very similar to step 2. So it's the tap into your tribe. Now, once you've done your needs assessment and you finally figured out, okay, I want to keep doing video, I want to do more interactive stuff, I really like it. So then once you've tapped into your tribe or your personal learning network, then you can start to focus on what people are offering that align with what you need. So you're not just being bombarded by all these tools. You should be able to just say, okay, I just want to do basic PowerPoint with audio over it. How do I do it? And so then once you find other practitioners that are doing the same thing, hone in on that. You can do all the bells and whistles later. Or if you're going into Twitter and you find a tool that someone's using, then you can contact them and be like, hey, you know what? I really like what you're sharing. Can you help me? For example, with me, I'm a big user of the communication tool Pronto. My institution has Pronto, and I know that Pronto is offering free licenses for institutions. And so I'm sharing all these fun videos using Pronto, and people are saying, what is that? How do I use it? How do I get my institution? And then you create connections. I at Pronto, and suddenly Pronto takes over the conversation. Or one thing I started doing is I started using clips on the iOS iPhone system. And I found it funny how a lot of people didn't know that they had clips on their phone. That was actually quite fun. And then, of course, I get the Android people going, what is it on Android? And I have to say, I don't know. But once you find that, again, you figure out what you're comfortable with, you go out there, you do your needs assessment, and then you tap into that tribe that is using that tool that is working for you.
Well, yeah, I couldn't agree more. And I just have one more question for you. And unless your kid has grown since I last engaged with you via email, but and you can add to that. But my last question was about comfort with technology. You mentioned this in your email to me, that one of the things that you're just thinking about is how can people get comfortable being thrown into this new technology.
Yeah, well, step 4 is play.
Okay.
Just play. Um, it's just going in there and just playing with it. I had a faculty member who didn't realize that she could take her cell phone, record a video, and upload it to YouTube. Like, she didn't know about a YouTube channel. And so she's decided just to do lectures from her home and upload to YouTube. And then she learned how to embed it in her LMS. And under the video, she put questions that students have to answer. That's all she's doing for now. Now, is that the best way? You know what? That's the best she can do for now.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not, is there learning theory that could say she can do better? Sure. But I think what she's doing best is that she's putting herself out there for her students. So that's why it's important to play. And again, to reach out, because if someone says to me that another question I've been being asked is, how do I start a YouTube page? And I realize this is an interesting question because you can Google that, and obviously Google owns YouTube, so the information is there. But notice how a teacher feels comfortable asking another colleague, how do you start a YouTube page? I have another teacher who said, I have one class with one hearing impaired student. What do I do? And then I showed her how to do closed captioning through YouTube. And it was like, that's it? I'm like, that's it. Oh my God, I'm so excited. And suddenly she's an enthusiast. So
Right. And now when she has that skill, she can take it and run with it. I mean, you could, with one skill of learning how to record yourself on YouTube, uploading that to your LMS and adding questions, you can finish out your term online in a respectable, responsible way.
yeah. And I actually think people will grow because they're gonna be like, well, what else can I add? Hey, Fabi, how do I add, something else? And then that's where I get excited. Like, ooh, let me show you. But as a So, as someone who is an enthusiast, and I'm also calling myself an online ambassador, we can't push our own skill set on faculty. One of the problems I have on my own campus is anytime I present, I have faculty who roll their eyes because in their brain they're saying, oh, well, that's Favi. She can do it. And I always say, it's kind of like Simone Biles telling us, oh, please, a cartwheel is easy.
Right.
Of course, you would say that. You're Simone Biles. So, this is why, like, I have to change, my script where I am helping faculty from an area where they're comfortable with. And so when those of us who are enthusiasts and ambassadors out there helping our colleagues, we need to come with that level of, empathy towards our faculty who their whole livelihood has been in front of the classroom, and that's been taken away. So how do we keep that in front of the classroom presence online?
Yeah, well, that's the big question for many people right now. And hey, I just want to tell you that I really appreciate your optimism at this point in time. I think we need it right now, and I love that you have not been really prescriptive, but you have given us some general guidelines that would work for individuals. And so I think you've done that empathy piece really nice for teachers. Is there anything else you want to share with us before we wrap up?
I want everyone to stay healthy, and we need to continue our instruction, without interruption.
Yeah, well, that's the message that we are sending today. And Fabiola, thank you so much for taking the time. It was really great to chat with you.
Thank you.